Hello again. Now, online child abuse has grown at an alarming 1,000% since 2019 in the UK. That's according to the Internet Watch Foundation. And an Economist impact report estimates that 400 million children globally are exposed to sexual exploitation. Now, in South Africa, there are systems to protect our young children against this scourge. Are they working? Well, let's discuss this now with Gugu Xaba from Save the Children SA. Ms. Xaba, good afternoon. Welcome to Today on eNCA. Thank you very much for your time. Now, the UK's Internet Watch Foundation revealing just the other day that sexual abuse imagery of primary school children has increased by more than 1,000% since 2019, and that the COVID-19 lockdown and online-based learning were the gaps. That's where the gap that saw the predators take advantage. So how can we protect children from pedophiles online?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Dan, and good afternoon to the listeners. How do we protect children? I think we need to all understand that as soon as there's a child involved, it means there is a responsible adult next to the child, and there's also an environment that that can expose the child to either safety or lack of safety. So it means then, as adults, immediate adults around the child, we have a responsibility to provide safety. If we are going to provide a phone or an iPad or a tablet for learning purposes, we need to make sure that that system has a control system, because we do have software that does block sexual predators, that does block a child from accessing certain content that is not age appropriate. So it means the adults that are around the child should start by providing the protection before we kick in the laws of the country. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, so what action then needs to be taken to prevent a surge of sexual abuse imagery on the internet? I mean, how can, for example, government get involved?
Okay, thanks, Dan. Then, Communications Board is a way in which government is involved. And we've got a Film and Publications Act that is helping the Film and Publication Board to screen out information that is going to be consumable for children. Then we also have the POPIA Act, which is one of the most basic laws that says you cannot process information without consent. You need instead to protect the privacy of the child or any person whose information you have in your hands. So government has provided the required systems. There are multiple. For instance, we've got a code of advertising which protects children, and there's a big section that indicates how you are going to work with children in order to advertise using their pictures, and how you're going to protect them from being accessed by sexual predators. Government is involved, as UNICEF, as Save the Children South Africa, as the Department of Social Development, with guidelines of online safety to teach both adults and children, to teach business people, to teach the people that are generating content on the internet and sending it out on how to protect children. The fact that we have a constitution in South Africa that indicates issues around privacy of children, that we also have a Children's Act that is currently being amended to involve how to protect children, including the POPIA content is being added into the Children's Act. That says government has done a lot to lay the foundation in terms of regulation. The challenge that I think we have is now responding as soon as there's a contravention of those particular regulations that have been put in place. That says our justice system needs to respond accordingly. Let me give an example then. The fact that businesses can be able to protect themselves from being attacked, cyber attacks, it means we do have an ability to protect children and other individuals from being attacked by anybody that they do not want to attack them. So we can do something about it, but we are ignoring it and we're not prioritizing it because we've got other priorities. Thank you.
Now, what about parents? I mean, what advice would you give to a parent whose child may have fallen victim to this type of abuse? I mean, we see in the UK that the age group is under 10, from the ages of 7 to 10.
Mm-hmm. Okay. With parents, I think we need to start by them understanding what it means to give a child a phone or any other device, and how we are supposed to protect the child. Because we find that most parents don't even understand that there are pop-up messages that a child can respond to and be exposed to a predator. So it means there's a lot of learning, and the education, as I said earlier, is being provided. So we need parents who are keen to listen and be able to take action as soon as the education has been provided. And then parents can be able to provide some form of control. I know that the POPIA Act says you cannot interfere, but then when we give a child a gadget, it's important that we teach the child how to use the gadget, and we have control systems that we agree on with the child. Now, as soon as a child has been attacked by a predator, it is important that the child communicates, because another thing that happens, the child will be followed by this predator and will not tell anybody. That says the communication between the parent and the child and how to use the gadget is not open. So we need to open that communication as parents, so that as soon as a child sees something that is untoward, they report, and then the parent can come in and be able to take charge, one, by responding and checking who is this person that is following my child, so that we can be able to identify a predator and respond to it. And we've seen a lot of videos that are being created simply because some people are selling the videos, which means we're using images of children to sell them out to people that will buy them simply because of poverty and other things. So it means parents need to be on the alert on who is creating a video, where is the video going, and how is it going to affect the child's life now and in future.
Okay, thank you very much for your time this afternoon on Today. That's Gugu Xaba, Director of Programs in Save the Children SA, talking about the rise, the alarming increase globally, including here in South Africa, of child abuse, online grooming. And the UK's Internet Watch Foundation, for example, just the other day revealing a report that sexual abuse imagery of primary school children, that between the ages of 7 to 10, had increased by more than 1,000% in that country since 2019. I wonder what the figures look like for us here in South Africa.